Hey YouTube, it's me Kush, and I just made a really fun, cool deck that you can play during the normal and rare festival. It's not super competitive, but I think it is very decent, and you can have a lot of fun playing it, especially if you like this archetype. That deck is, as you can already read from the title, it's the Cyber Dragon deck. So I'll be going over card for card real quick, just so if anybody wants to know what's in the deck specifically, and then I'll be explaining what each card does and my reasoning for the card choices. So jumping right in, we have 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Herz. I'm just going to be calling them by their last name because all of them have Cyber Dragon in them. 3 copies of Nachster, 3 copies of Drei, 3 copies of Vier, 3 copies of the original Cyber Dragon, and 1 copy of Toon Cyber Dragon. Oh, as for the spells, we got 3 copies of Cyber Repair Plant, 3 copies of Cyber Revsystem, 3 copies of MST, Mystical Space Typhoon, 3 copies of Forbidden Chalice, 3 copies of Malevolent Catastrophe. I like this card. 3 copies of Cybernetic Overflow, 3 copies of DNA Surgery, and finally for the last trap we got 3 copies of Cyber Network. As for the extra deck, we got 3 copies of Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, 1 copy of Babaroid, 1 copy of number 61 Volcasaurus, 1 copy of I can't pronounce this, Digvorax or something, 1 copy of Shark Fortress, 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Nova, 1 copy of number 5. As for the links, we got 1 copy of Generator, 1 copy of Triple Burst, 1 copy of Power Code Talker, and 1 copy of Steel Star Regulator. Okay, for my decision for the cards in the deck, I want to start with the traps because I feel like the traps are the most important aspect of where the change really is. So I've seen some Cyber Dragon decks don't run Cyber Network. What Cyber Network does is it banishes a Cyber Dragon from your deck if you control Cyber Dragon, and all of them are essentially Cyber Dragons. So you're usually going to be banishing Cyber Dragon from your deck. And also, when this card is destroyed, either by its own effect, like after 3 turns, or you destroy it yourself or your opponent destroys it, you can special summon as many of your banished machines as possible. Why that's OP is because you can special summon up to 5 Cyber Dragons that are banished. It's like 5 free special summons. It's really cool. Okay, DNA Surgery is a unique one in this deck. The reason you run it is because when you flip it face up, you want to turn all monsters on the field into machine. And it might not seem useful because all monsters in your deck are already machine except for the extra deck, but the reason you run it is because you turn your opponent's monsters into machines, and there's a special little card in the extra deck called Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. And this card can be summoned. It doesn't need polymerization, it's just like a link summon. But you can use your opponent's monsters to summon this guy, and as long as they're machines, as long as you have DNA Surgery face up on the field that switches them to machines, or they're already machines, you can just use your opponent's monsters. Incredibly powerful, getting rid of your opponent's monsters while summoning a monster of your own. That's why this card's in his deck. I think it's kind of good. I never drew it, sadly, but I just think it's too powerful not to run. Cybernetic Overflow is the best card in the entire deck, and it's hard because there's actually some really good cards in this deck. But essentially what this card does is you can banish cards. Essentially what this card does is you can banish Cyber Dragons from your graveyard or on your field, and you can destroy as many cards as possible up to the number of cards you banish on your opponent's side of the field. What that means is you can pretty much destroy like 5 monsters or spell traps with this card. Like, it's insane. Also, when it's destroyed, you get an add. So what might happen is your opponent MSTs, and you chain this card to like destroy opponent's cards in response to the MST. What you also get after the chain link ends is you also get an add of a Cyber Dragon spell or trap. So this is a good card, really good. Another unique card in this deck is Malevolent Catastrophe. When your opponent declares an attack, you can destroy all spell or traps on the field. What that means is you destroy all of your own, but you also destroy all of your opponents, and your opponent's most likely going to be playing spell or traps. Also, it works really well with Cyber Network, because when this card's destroyed, you can special summon as many banished machines as possible. Also, when Cybernetic Overflow is destroyed, you get a Cyber Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. So, it has extremely good synergy in this deck. As for the spells, we run 3 Forbidden Chalice. This card is like a hand negate. You can use it as soon as you draw it, or you can even set it and use it on your opponent's turn. It's in the deck because having a little bit of negates is pretty powerful. We're not running a card like Fiendish Chain, which also negates, or any other form of negate, because I think Forbidden Chalice is a little more better, because it's a spell card. MST, I've said it many times, it's even better in this deck than in other decks, but it's just one of the best cards you can be running in your deck, in any deck. It's just such a powerful card. Extremely, extremely overpowered in this format. It honestly should have been limited to 1 or 2. And this is another very powerful top contender card. Cybernetic Revsystem. The reason this card is so good, special summon 1 Cyber Dragon from your graveyard, but the most important part is it cannot be destroyed by card effects. That doesn't sound like really big, right? But it's like, not only do you special summon a Cyber Dragon from your graveyard, like, and any of them, all of them are considered Cyber Dragons, but you also get an additional effect where it can't be destroyed. That's good. That's like really good. And then we have another really good card in this deck, Cyber Repair Plan. This card essentially says if a Cyber Dragon's in your graveyard, you pretty much just add a light machine from your deck to your hand. It doesn't even need to be a Cyber Dragon. You can play other light machines in the deck. You can like do unique tech. This card can search them out from your deck and get it to your hand. Generally, since I only run Cyber Dragons, I only add a Cyber Dragon. But I mean, if you choose to run another light machine, you can just add it with this card. This card's really, really good. There's really powerful spell and traps in this deck. Like, it's insane how good they are. Next, we have 1 copy of Toon Cyber Dragon. I put this card in because I thought it'd be good because his name is Cyber Dragon. But honestly, I don't really like him that much. You can take him out. You can put him in for anything else. He's there because he's a Cyber Dragon. He's also a level 5 machine. He kind of works with the deck, but he's not as good as the original Cyber Dragon. Simply because when he's summoned, you can't attack with him that turn. So that kind of sucks. But, I mean, he does work with the deck. That's why he's in here. Next, we got 3 copies of the OG. We run 3 of him because you can search him out. So you want to have a lot of copies, so you have more copies to search. Also, he's just a pretty good card in general. 2,100 attack. Doesn't seem like a lot in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! But in this event, it's kind of big. Also, if you choose to go second, you pretty much generally get a free special summon. So it's a nice card to have. 3 Cyber Dragon Vier. I love this card. It's probably my favorite one. Probably not the best one, but it's my favorite one. Simply because if you normal summon or special summon a Cyber Dragon, you can just special summon it immediately from your hand. Also, the effect that I like the most is all Cyber Dragons gain 500 attack and defense. What I always do is I always try to banish this one specific card with Cyber Network, because I want to get as many of these on the field as possible, because it gives my monsters each a 500 attack boost for every Vier I have on the field. And I've had up to 2 or 3 on the field at once, and my Cyber Dragons were huge, like 4,000 attack, like beat sticks, just hard to get over. That's why I like this card so much. It's just like, it makes your monsters bigger and stronger, which isn't necessarily what you need all the time, but it's just cool having a really strong attack monster on your side of the field. I really like that. Next, we got 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Drei. He's a really important normal summon in the deck. When he's normal summoned, he can make all Cyber Dragons level 5, even the ones that are like level 1 or level 4. He makes all of them level 5, which is pretty amazing. The only downside I would say is you can only special summon machines for the rest of the turn, which means you can't go into like Shark Fortress because it's a fish, or you can't go into Volcasaurus, but you're able to go into cards like Dig of Works. I can't pronounce it, sorry, but this card is really good. I've used it a couple times, and I feel like it's won me some duels. Like, it is genuinely a good card. Also, you can still go into Cyber Dragon Nova, your pretty much boss monster, which is not a bad card, because it can revive, like, every Cyber Dragon from your graveyard. But pretty much, Drei is a good card. Also, he's even better because he has a banish effect, which can be easily triggered with your trap card, Cyber Network, because you can just banish any monster from your deck that's a light machine. Target 1 Cyber Dragon monster you control, like all of them. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. So pretty much, your opponent has a big monster, he's going to destroy your Cyber Dragon monster. As long as you have this trap out on the field, or if you have even like Cybernetic Overflow, or you have anything to banish this guy from the graveyard or the field or even your deck, you can just protect your monster from destruction or card effect for the rest of the turn. It's good. It's like legit a good card. And it's a good normal summon. And he has good stats. He's 1800 attack. He's good. I like him. As for Cyber Dragon Nachster, I think this card is really good because you can special summon it from your hand just by discarding 1 monster. So it's like really easy to bring out right there. Also, when he's special summoned in general, you can just grab 1 Cyber Dragon from your graveyard and special summon it. He doesn't really have any other effect besides that, but still, just being able to get a Cyber Dragon on your field like easily and get Cyber Dragons in your graveyard is important, and this card does essentially all of that. He's also a Cyber Dragon, so he works well with the deck. I like him. He's not my favorite in the deck, but he is still pretty good because he does something for the deck. Finally, we have Cyber Dragon Herz. which essentially is just when this card is sent to the graveyard, either by leaving the field or either by being discarded or anything, as long as it's sent to the graveyard, you can add one other cyber dragon from your deck to your hand. You only have one target in your deck, or 3 copies I should say, essentially. And having this card in your graveyard and getting you another ad gives you advantage, which really helps. The extra deck, Chimera Tech, is in here because you can make it if you need to. Also, if you have DNA surgery, Chimera Tech becomes the absolute best card in your extra deck because you send all face-up monsters your opponent controls as long as they're machine. Especially summon this guy, has like 4,000, 3,000 attack. Really good card, really good card. This card is in the extra deck, not because you can just like make it normally, but you can bring it out actually with your boss monster, Cyber Dragon Nova, because Nova has a unique effect where when he's destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon a machine fusion from your extra deck. So you can bring out this guy who has 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense, can attack twice. He does like, I think he like negates the effects of the monsters he destroys. Also, if he destroys a monster, inflict 1,000 damage. He's good. He's big. He's strong. I like him. We have a little rank 5 package. I never went into Volcasaurus in all the duels I played, nor did I ever go into Shark Fortress. But they're there as an option, just in case like you do have the option to go into them. You can go into them. That's why I think the extra deck is so important, because you want to have options so you can get rid of cards in certain situations. So if you do want to have more options, I would definitely consider cutting down Cyber Dragon Nova down to 2 or 1. I think he's better at 2. 3 seems a little excessive because you're usually winning a duel by 2. But yeah, definitely if you want more options, you can cut Cyber Dragon Nova, even Chimera Tech, but I like Chimera Tech at 3 because I feel like you're going to be bringing out 3 Chimera Tech often if you have DNA surgery in your deck. Then we have one of this guy. Essentially his effect is your opponent mills 3, so he sends 3 cards from the top of his deck to the graveyard, and then you can destroy as many cards that were monsters. And it happens a lot where I destroy up to like 2 cards like every single time. So if you get lucky, you can destroy 3, 2, or 1 cards your opponent controls. And if you get really unlucky, you destroy nothing. Shark Fortress can attack twice. Your opponent cannot target other monsters you control. It's decent if you want to push for like an OTK, which means that you want to like kill your opponent as fast as possible. Just attack twice, end the game. You also have Cyber Dragon Nova, who you can detach a material, and he has 2 materials starting off. You special summon a Cyber Dragon from your graveyard. Also, you can banish a Cyber Dragon that's face up on your field or in your hand, double this guy's attack, essentially. And then he has an effect where if he's destroyed by card effect, he's a good card. I like him. I usually make him always because getting a card from your graveyard by detaching a material is so powerful because it gets you more monster presence and it gives you more advantage. Having more cards in your opponent helps a lot because it gives you more options to do things. And in Yu-Gi-Oh, having more options is like everything. You want to have as many options as you can. Even if some of the options might not be as good as the others, having more options gives you more chances to win the duel. And then we run this guy number 5, which I don't think I even made him once, but he's in there just as an option. As for the generic link package, this one switches monsters if it points to both of them. It's unique if your opponent puts it like in where the arrow points, it might come up. You also have Triple Burst, which can negate monster effects during a damage step. Also does Pierce. That's essentially the only reason it's there. This guy can negate a monster effect, like just target one monster and negate its effect. Also, it can double its attack to like 4,600. And this guy can essentially just target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you use an XYZ to make this card, which is really easy in this deck, you inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of its attack. That's the main deck. I'm going to go over some replays. First replay is going to be a short one. It's just going to show like a little bit what you can do, and then there's going to be more lengthy ones when I'm going to be talking over it. Alright, here we go. Here's the first replay. Our opening hand looks kind of good because we opened up with a monster, and I'm going to be speeding it up so that we can get through it a little quicker. I'll be pausing when I need to explain things. This is a very short duel. I think it's like over in like 2 turns. You're going to see why I like one card in the extra deck a lot. But my starting hand is this guy can discard special summon himself. So I'm going to discard Herz because as long as Herz is sent to the graveyard, no matter what way, I get an ad. So I'm going to get an add to my hand. Also, Vier can be special summon from hand if I normal or special summon any Cyber Dragon. So I already got 2 on the field, and I have a Revsystem if I want to like special summon something from my graveyard. I'd even normal summon this turn, by the way. So I was easily able to normal summon Drei, I believe. And Drei has the effect, changes all of them to level 5. So I have options. I can either go into a Cyber Dragon XYZ, I can keep the board I have, or I can go into this guy, and if I'm feeling lucky, I can like, roll the dice, see what I hit. So I'm going to go into this guy, and I'm going to use his effect to detach 1, and my opponent's going to mill 3. And he milled 2 monsters and 1 trap, so I'm able to destroy 2 cards. Then just Revsystem, bring something back from the graveyard. He scoops, But it essentially showed why the XYZ is that good in the extra deck. Like, you can destroy cards with it. It's really easy to make too. Alright, here we go. Next duel. Duel number 2. This one's a little longer than the last one. The opponent doesn't surrender right away. And our opening hand is pretty good. We have a Cyber Repair Plant, so as long as we can get a Cyber Dragon in our graveyard, which is possible, we can use Cyber Repair Plant and search any light machine from our deck, which is like essentially all of them. Search all monsters in our deck. He's going to use Ring of Destruction on our Drei, and Cyber Repair Plant's now live, which isn't the worst thing in the world. We're going to use Nachster's effect to discard the Cyber Dragon that we searched, because Nachster has the effect also when he's summoned, we can special summon a Cyber Dragon, so... Alright, it's like, we're looking at our field, it's not the biggest deal, but, I mean, in the Cyber Dragon deck, this kind of like, this is a good field. Like, it's not bad. And next turn, we're going to be able to do things, because we still have a Drei in our hand, and we top deck another Cyber Repair Plant, which is good. Essentially, it's any monster in your deck, add it to your hand. That's powerful. Drei's going to change everything to level 5, Vier's going to special summon himself also. So, we're going to have 4 level 5s on our side of the field. Also, all their attacks are boosted by 500. Instead of going into an XYZ, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna attack, you know? Like, what do I gotta lose? If I make something, you might have something to, like, destroy, like a flip monster, so I'm gonna immediately go into the battle phase and pick more damage, and then go into an XYZ. Nova is really good here, because we already have a Cyber Dragon in our graveyard, so we can activate the special summon effect. Real quick, if you don't have a Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, and you try to detach for Nova, or you try to activate Nova's effect, you will not be able to detach. A weird thing in YuGiOh is, if you want to, if the effect says something like, detach one material, target one Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, or like, do something, then special summon a monster from your graveyard, you can only use that effect if you already have a Cyber Dragon or any monster that it requires in the graveyard. Otherwise, it won't let you use its effect. It's kind of weird, even if like the card you're detaching is a Cyber Dragon and you want to special summon what you detach, it won't let you. I don't know why, but it's like that. So I'm going to use Cyber Dragon Nova, I bring out monsters, I have 4 monsters, all of them are pretty beefy, they're pretty strong. Nova, if something happens to my Nova, I can just special summon a Roid for my extra deck. And he's playing like a true Draco deck, which is actually a pretty good deck, I believe. And he's just doing the most basic combos where he's going to get a Spell Search, and also his trap's going to destroy something. My Drei, I'm going to target my my Vier, because I want to protect my Vier. He's going to pop my Spell or Trap. He's going to go into Volcasaurus and destroy my Nova. Actually, I believe at this time, I wasn't running Roid in the extra deck, because I didn't realize that Nova could special summon any machine. I thought he could only special summon like Fortress Dragon, and I read Fortress Dragon wrong, because Fortress Dragon at the time, yeah, there's no Roid in my extra deck. Fortress Dragon could not be special summoned unless it's special summoned by the effect of like tributing the monsters on the field. So, I missed out on an opportunity to bring out Roid, a 4,000 attack monster. But, Vier cannot be destroyed, I'm able to bring back Nova, and I'm just able to go for game. So, I mean, we're chilling. Alright, here we go, third duel. Any hand that I open up with at least one monster, I'm pretty fine with, because having a monster in your opening hand at least guarantees that you're able to protect yourself from like a battle or something. So he's going to activate Bottomless Trap Wall, my Cyber Dragon, which does kind of suck, but I still get another Cyber Dragon search from my Herz, so I just bring him back out. And then I have Vier, who's going to like special summon itself from my hand. I have a Drei for next turn, which isn't bad. Nibble Mamanga is going to special summon 2 copies of itself from the deck. He also gains life points if they're destroyed. And my opponent does something a little weird here. He's going to use a danger card, which is, I think it's normal. Destroy my set Spar Trap. I'm going to use Chalice on Cyber Dragon, increase his attack to 3,000. So he's going to be a big boy. And then, this is where I think it gets a little weird. My opponent's going to do like a really strange combo. Or not yet, not yet. It's next turn, sorry. I baited you. But he's going to use Moon Mirror Shield, not a bad card at all. And Drei's going to come in handy here because he's going to change all the Cyber Dragons on the field to level 5. I'm going to be able to go into an XYZ. Or I believe this guy is even a machine. So had I been a little smarter, I could have just like tributed for Fortress Dragon, but I didn't consider that. I go into this guy, and I'm able to pop 3 cards, which is huge. This guy's effect just like, pretty much like almost saved me the duel. Like, and just like that, he just scoops because, I mean, it's 3,200 attack. Next turn, if he does a lot of things, just try to destroy whatever he does. Alright, here we go, duel number 4, excuse me. This duel is a little more important because, like, as you can tell, I now have a monster, and I have no way to get to a monster. So, like, I'm relying on my top decks and hoping that I can get to a monster, because this deck really doesn't work if you don't have a monster. You need a monster. And I'm not getting one. I have 3 MSTs, a Chalice, a Revsystem, which special summons a Cyber Dragon from my graveyard, the Trap, which can special summon banish cyber monsters, but I need to control a Cyber Dragon in order to activate it. And so here we go. I top deck a monster, and I'm taking this opportunity. 100 attack, I don't care. His name is Cyber Dragon. I'm able to activate my Trap and banish cards from my deck. That's the most important thing in this situation. Because I have 3 MSTs, so whenever I want, I can just destroy Cyber Network and special summon whatever I banish. So I'm going to be banishing as much as I can. This was a duel. Last replay, I mentioned that there was a weird duel where my opponent did something really strange. I actually misspoke. This is the one. He does something like I didn't even expect, but it actually worked out for me, which is kind of cool. I'm going to tribute it for a Kaiju. Herz gets me a search. The Kaiju has 3,300 attack. And what he does here, I thought was weird. I thought he was trying to like do a deck where he just like tries to lose as fast as possible in order to get gems. But what he's actually doing is Inferno Tempest, which he banishes all monsters from my deck. And normally, when you lose all your monsters and they're banished, you're like, oh, what do I do? Like, I lose, right? But in my deck doesn't care if my cards are banished, as long as I have Cyber Network. Cyber Network, I'm going to destroy it during his end phase. And what am I going to special summon? All of my banished ones up to 4, because I only have 4 slots open. So I'm going to grab 2 Vier and 2 Cyber Dragons. 3,100 attack. My opponent only has 4,700 life points. I'm going to go into an XYZ because I'm flexing a little bit. Also here I learned that Vier does not boost up the Cyber Dragon Nova attack. Because it's weird, even though his name says Cyber Dragon, he's not technically like the one Cyber Dragon that Vier boosts and all that. But yeah, that was a fun duel. I didn't expect that, but it was very, very interesting. Alright, this is the last replay using this deck, and I'm playing against a Tri-Brigade, like, Beast Swarm deck. It's actually kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. But he's just gonna do a normal combo where he just sends a bunch of monsters to his graveyard. He brings out this guy, who's really huge. He's really, really hard. Like, he like counters my deck simply because his effect is quick effect. You can use it during either player's turn. You can chain it to stuff. Target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, shuffled into the deck. That doesn't seem really big, but if you think about it, Cyber Repair Plant needs at least a Cyber Dragon in my graveyard in order to activate. If he shuffles something in my graveyard into the deck, I have no Cyber Dragons. I can't activate it. Cybernetic Overflow can banish cards in my graveyard. So, like, this card's a problem. But luckily, I have Forbidden Chalice, which helps a lot. So I'm going to use Nachster to discard a special summon. He's going to chain this to like target my Herz, which is like actually what I feared. I didn't want that to happen, but Chalice is just going to negate him. For some weird reason, he's going to chain this trap, because I think he thought that this says destroy one spell or trap on the field and negates it, but it doesn't negate. YuGiOh is weird like that. Sometimes it negates if it's continuous, but this time it does not negate. And I'm going to negate his monster's effect, but sadly his monster is 2,800 attack, which is a lot. I still have Cyber Repair Plant in my hand, so I'm going to be able to search a Cyber Dragon from my deck to my hand. And I think the best one to search here is a Drei. Also, I get an ad for Herz, so I'm going to get a normal Cyber Dragon to my hand. Oh, I was going to search a Drei, but then he used this card, Dinomischus, which is really powerful. Target a card on the field, banish it. And my Cyber Dragons, they don't really care about being banished, because I could just special summon them back when they're banished. So I'm not really losing anything. Cyber Repair Plant's gonna go through. I'm still gonna search out a Drei. I still have a Cyber Dragon in my hand. Drei's gonna change himself to level 5. Nova. I have a Cyber Dragon in my graveyard, so I can target any Cyber Dragon in my graveyard, even the one I detached, since I already have one in my graveyard, so I can fulfill the cost. Special summon a Cyber Dragon, destroy both his monsters. I'm not able to destroy this one, which is like the only one I really want to destroy. Right away, he's gonna use his effect, get rid of Drei, so it becomes 4,800 attack. I'm still going to lose a Drei here because I don't negate his monster effect, but I'm able to destroy his monster, which is not bad either. He's going to use Dinomischus, bring it back from the graveyard. So he's going to have a monster with 2,100 attack, either an attack or defense, I remember. And Overflow is going to destroy his Link. Oh, also, I still lost Drei because I had a banish for cost for Overflow. This card, I think, comes in really clutch. it's like a weird archetype where during the end phase you can special summon it, and then whenever it returns to the hand you get an effect. So he's gonna add cards from his graveyard back to his hand. I'm able to destroy both his monsters, I believe. And he's just getting a bunch of ads, you know. I'm actually a little afraid because his extra deck, if it's really well equipped, which it might be, honestly, I don't know. But if it is, he's able to bring out like another one of that wind guy, or maybe another like really good link monster. He brings out this guy, which his effect is like, oh yeah, he misplays here. It doesn't matter what his effect is, because he's just going to attack into my monster. He didn't read Nova. Nova's going to banish my Cyber Dragon, because I only have one Cyber Dragon. And a lot of effects are happening here. I'm going to pause. And Nova's attack's going to get boosted. So what happens here is he's just special summoning a bunch of Melfi. And actually misplayed. I should have did MST. And MST is targeting my Cyber Network. But I should have used MST earlier. I used it at the end phase. But it's not a super big misplay. It doesn't cost me the entire game. But it's just I gave my opponent a lot of free advantage. And I didn't need to do that. MST is going to target this because I have 5 Cyber Dragons that are banished. I'm going to be able to special summon 4 of them. Which is, that's actually not bad. 2 Drei, so all of them are boosted. This guy looks like he's boosted, Cyber Dragon Nova, but he's not actually. The opponent's monsters are like adding to the hand. They're like special summoning from the deck or adding from the deck, and it's just like, it's a lot. He got a lot of advantage off that. But at the end of the day, he has 1 monster, which when it returns to the hand, you can special summon 1 beast from your deck, and he has 1 face-up monster, and I have 5 monsters on my side of the field. At the start of my turn, I tribute for Toon Cyber Dragon because I want to go into XYZ. I want to go into another Nova so that I can bring out another monster from my graveyard back on the field. Herz is going to add me a Cyber Dragon, so that's kind of good. Immediately go into the rank 5. And I'm going into the extra link zone because I need space, so now I have 2 slots so I can special summon even more. And there we go, that's the first special summon, that's the second special summon. My field's looking good. He has like no monsters on the side of the field and just able to attack him for a game. But yeah, that is the Cyber Dragon deck. If you do play this deck, it is a lot of fun. I don't know if it's the absolute best deck here, but it is very, very fun to be able to play Cyber Dragon and for it to be actually like kind of like competitive rather than your opponent just using hand traps or like Raigeki and destroying everything. You actually have a chance because they left a lot of the good Cyber Dragon main deck cards. You're not able to use any of the Cyber Dragon fusions or anything like that, but the deck is still a lot of fun. I do recommend playing it if you like Cyber Dragons. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching the video and for all the support. It really means a lot to me. And I hope you have a great day or night, and maybe I'll catch you later. Peace.